good morning. Having a few technical difficulties here this morning, or good evening, or wherever it is. It's morning for me right now. But at any rate, today we're going to be talking about the metric system. This is the standard that we're going to be covering here, but specifically, we're going to the meaning or symbols or key terms or domain specific words or phrases is going to be the metric system. The metric system. The metric system is a system based on 10, and it's really easy to convert in the metric system. If I was you, what I would do is on the very front page of my notebook or some page that I can find quickly at any time. A lot of times I have students open up their notebook, and on the back cover of the cover of the front cover, they'll write this top section here. They'll write these in so that they can quickly access this part right here, because this right here is what's going to make the metric system easy. Here, I've went ahead and used everything in the form of meters. We could very easily change all of these things, for example, to milliliters, centiliters, or we could change it to grams by saying picograms, not picograms, but micrograms, and so forth. So let's talk about the metric system here very quickly. As I start clear to the far left, we get capital GM, or giga, and that's what that stands for, is gigameters. You've heard of gigabytes. Well, there's gigameters. It could be gigaliters, gigagrams. It's just the giga is the prefix, and I've got the little m after it to represent meters. We've got two other ones here that are missing. We don't ever use those, so I'm not going to include those. The next one we come to here would be megameters. Could be megabytes, megaliters, meganewtons, megagrams. It's just another way, it's another prefix. If we go, there's two more spots here again, two other units that we don't ever use, that are just never used. They exist, but they're just not common terms. The next one would be kilo, and you've heard of kilobytes. You've heard of kilometers, kilograms. This is a very kiloliters. If you think about the computer, we have kilobytes. The next one you hear about is megabytes. The next one you hear after about that is gigabytes. And we don't talk about the ones in between there. So it's just one we do not use. So we're not going to discuss them. The next one would be hecto. It's a capital H and M. This is deca. This is our base. This is deci. This is centi. This is milli. Once again, we have these two spots right here that we do not use. They exist, but we're not going to talk about them. This one right here would be micrometers. And that's actually going to look more like this, a Greek U or a mu in your assignments or the books. There's two more again that we do not use, and that right here would be nano. Now, some very common things that you'll run into with this, and I still haven't taught you how to convert anywhere with this, well, let's go right into the convert. We're going to change our direction here. Let's talk about converting. This is very simple in the metric system. 45.5 decameters into decimeters. Well, if I was going to convert this, I would say decimeters is two spots to the right. So move your decimal two spots to the right. It's really not that any much harder than that. So as you see here, I would be at 45.5 decameters. Decimeters is two spots over, so I would move the decimal two spots over, and that gives me 4,550 decimeters. If I was to be going into millimeters, into hectometers, well, Millimeters is right here. Hectometers is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots to the left. So I would take this number right here, that decimal right there, and I'd move it 5 spots to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what that gives me then, just look a little better here, is a point with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros in front of it, which would also be 3.0 times 10 to the negative sixth, if we were to write it in scientific notation. So we've done a few examples right there. It's just about identifying what spot you want to look at the units that it's currently in and find out which way do I have to move the decimal and how many spots do I have to move the decimal to convert it into the next one. I'm not going to teach you factor label here with the metric system. I think that is an overcomplication of it. So let's do another example here. Let's go to our next one. 502.2 centimeters into hectometers. Well, we're going from centimeters. Let's just get rid of everything else off here so it's a little bit easier to see. We're going to go from centimeters all the way over here into hectometers. So I ask myself, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 spots to the left. So if I were to find this answer, I would take my decimal, 1, 2, 3, 4 spots to the left. And that turns out to be C. Well, let's give you a chance here to do this. I'm going to go ahead and pause it. Okay, I'm back. And what I want to show you is we're going to kilometers to millimeters. So let's get rid of the last problem here. Kilometers to millimeters. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots to the right. So I would move my decimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots to the right, which gives me 4,500. The correct answer was E. Let's give you a chance to do this one. All right, in this one, we are going from millimeters to decimeters. So what we want to do here then is find out how many spots do we need to move the decimal. 1, 2 to the left. So in our problem that we're working right now is I'm going to move the decimal 2 spots to the left. And we get 0.015. Again, it doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. There is one last thing I want to go over with you before I let you loose on this. Some things that you guys will commonly see, and the metric system works exactly the same way with moving the decimal here. Give me a second here. I'm going to stop this and add a few things. Okay, I've added some scientific notation here, or just the trailing parts of it. And this would be times 10, times 10, times 10. And what I want you to understand is that millimeters is times 10 to the negative third. Micrometers is times 10 to the negative sixth. Nano is times 10 to the negative ninth. Kilometers is times 10 to the third, 10 to the sixth, 10 to the ninth. The reason they are that way is, for example, millimeters is 1, 2, 3 spots to the right. So it is times 10 to the negative third. Micro is 6 spots to the right, so it's negative 6. Nano is 9 spots, so it's negative 9. The same works the other way. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this simplification of the metric system. I will see you tomorrow.